Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is June 5th, 2022. How the heck are you? It's a Sunday. Let's see. I got a food corner update. I went to Eastgate Mall to do some content with some friends. It was a good time. Hopefully, I'll have like a link to it soon in the upcoming weeks when it all gets edited and put up and everything. But food at Eastgate Mall, there's not much. Even less, post COVID. There are like I think 3 or 4 little food places open in the food court. There is a pizza place, kind of like Sbarro style. There is a China Experience, I believe is the name of it. Kind of like your typical mall Chinese food. And then, last but certainly not the least, I believe it's pronounced Yihai Japan. Yihai Japan. And they make, in my opinion, the best chicken teriyaki. Now, granted, this is like a little spot that I've seen in other places, like just not around here. This is the only place I know. For me, Eastgate's a little bit far out, but it's like, hey, I'm already going up here to do this. How perfect. And man, it did not disappoint. It was very nostalgic, felt very good. I don't think I've eaten that. Gosh, probably about like a year or two, maybe more. Yeah, probably more. Wild. Also too, since we're in the meat corner anyway, I totally have one of those like old man like moments where you like freak out. So I'm unfamiliar really with Eastgate Malls. It's already like tweaked up a little bit. So I got a little lost. So that's already an old man situation. I'm like, where am I? But then I go back out of the parking lot because I needed to like move my car to the other side of the mall. And I come out and I'm looking for my car. I'm like, where's my car? Where's my car? And like 2-3 minutes go by. And at this point, I'm like, I am not high. Like, I am not like under the influence of anything at this point. Like, I'm sober. What has happened? Like, where is my vehicle? I'm going crazy. And I literally call my friend and I'm like freaking out. And then I realize, oh, Isaiah, you just went out the other end of the same entrance. I guess like there's a food court entrance and it pans out like 2 ways. And I've always gone in from like my flashback memory that way I came out. And my car wasn't there because I parked on the other end. And I was like, what? And I guess I just couldn't see my car. I don't know. It was bad. It was bad. I was very embarrassed. I realized this like on the phone. And I'm like, okay, it's okay. Stop flop sweating. You're all right. So that was my Saturday. It was a good time, though. I really did have a great time. But yeah, we can talk about some news now. I got some news for ya. Got this from the NPR. Starbucks union says the coffee giant is closing a store to retaliate. So this is about a Starbucks store in Ithaca, New York. Let's see. The unionizers or the Starbucks like voted to unionize. It kind of feels like, even though they didn't say it, that they more or less closed down the store for that reason. Like, now granted, I mean, they have a spokesperson in this article kind of like throwing a little bit of a defense, but let's see, yeah. A Starbucks spokesperson told Bloomberg that the closure was based on facility staffing and time and attendance issues. I hate this bullshit. I'm sorry. Like, even like saying it out loud, like, to me, like, if you've ever worked in a retail situation, that's every place. And I can't imagine even more so right now. Like, of course you're going to have staffing and attendance issues. Those are fixable issues. Excuse me. Maybe not. Well, I thought that was going to be part 2 of that burp. I just call bullshit. Like, I think it's really fucked up. Because it's one of those things where these are people's lives. There's a reason that they've wanted to unionize. I also believe that they held a strike as well. Like, I think in April. Yeah, they did. It says workers at the College Ave location previously went on a 1-day strike in April for what the union says were unsafe working conditions. A waste emergency caused by an overflowing grease trap. Starbucks later cited the grease trap as a reason for shuttering the location, according to the union. So they literally used the reasons that this was not a good workplace and reasons why it's like, hey, a union would help us fix this. And they said, oh, no, we can fix this for you, fam. And they just closed the store. That's bullshit. It's bullshit to me. I think they're really doing this shit like just live and in public because they really know that like overall people are gonna quote unquote not care. I also think they kind of know that fighting this union fight is a losing battle. I think I hear more and more every day that there are people talking about unionizing or unionizing. Also too, it does kind of make me think like, just over time, because I remember, obviously Starbucks had the big bloom. They blossomed. They were everywhere. It was like McDonald's. Like you just couldn't go down the street without seeing one. And, then next thing you know, they were kind of shriveling up. And I mean, they kind of they cited the issue as like, well, we kind of, grew a little bit too big and now we kind of hit a little bit of a plateau. So we had to cut a little bit, trim fat, if you will. And I mean, I hate that because these are people's lives, these people who work at these stores. You're telling them, hey, sorry, we're shutting it down. But it now makes me think too, now that I'm older, looking at these kind of situations, I wonder too if there is any kind of validity to the idea that maybe these people were trying to like maybe make things happen, and even at even the slightest whiff or crumb of that, something happened. I mean, granted, that's a lot of speculation for me. I don't have an article to cite that, but I don't know. Shit is fucky. I don't like it. I'm gonna keep talking about it. I'm not gonna lie though. I did bump a story about the Corinthians College situation. Pretty much Biden, he absolved the debt, and it's like, okay, cool, that's a fun way to word it, but essentially this Corinthians College was like a bogus fraud scheme. And I don't know, that was a whole fucked up thing. I might try to cover that in some like leftovers or post it somewhere, but I mean, I don't know, that's a whole mess. And of course Biden's trying to take that as a dub, but I don't really call it a dub. I'd say that's just tying up a loose end from like a fucking fake college's fraud. But anyway, we can move on from both those things. I got the next article from Reuters. Hinckley, who shot Reagan in 1981, granted full freedom. Now, we covered him a little bit in a previous podcast episode. And just in general from just the now and then stuff, I don't know. We like talking about this kind of thing. And I know, I do talking shit because at the end of the day, like, Reagan getting shot does not bum me out. I'm just not going to lie. I mean, yeah, 3 others got shot and that's fucked up. But at the end of the day, no one was murdered, so that's good. Also, you can tell just from the situation with Hinckley that he had some mental health issues. His motivations for doing this wasn't even so much, I think, that he hated Reagan, but he wanted to like impress Jodie Foster, who at the time was like very young. I don't know. It was really really. I hate to say what the kids are saying, but cringe. But that being said, a federal judge on Wednesday granted John Hinckley, the man who shot and wounded President Ronald Reagan and 3 others in a 1981 assassination attempt, unconditional release from the remaining restrictions he faced. U.S. media reported. So that's good. I mean, I like to think it's good. At this point, what is he up to today? I mean, last time I checked, he has like YouTubes where he's like playing songs and stuff like that. I know, Ronald Reagan's like daughter is kind of a little bit big mad, she says in the article, Patty Davis. She wrote in an opinion piece in the Washington Post that she opposed Hinckley's release, saying that she did not believe he feels remorse. Okay. I think that's kind of more of a personal, hence Ryan's opinion, but it's like, that's your thing. At the end of the day, he did go through a set of, rehabilitation. He was found not guilty by reason of insanity in 1982, but he's been through treatment, stuff like that. So I mean, yeah, interesting story. Wanted to kind of, I guess, update it, but just talk about it. It is kind of one of those things that's in our orbital. Also, another update. I got this from Yahoo News, Associated Press. Family devastated after Texas escapee kills man, grandsons. So this is an update on Gonzalo Lopez. He is the prisoner who was an escapee in Texas. He was able to break free of his restraints or get free enough of them to stab a corrections officer. He tried to get the gun. Gun didn't go off. He couldn't unholster it. Tried to take the truck, get out of there. They shot the tires. Crazy shit. He got away though. It seems that the fallout of that was he was able to get to a ranch where he killed a man and his 4 grandsons. Then he stole an AR-15 style rifle and a pistol from the ranch, and this was in Centerville. And he also got the truck. So he was able to take all that, and he went out, drove off. Then they proceeded to attempt to apprehend him. They got spike strips out on the road. They were effective. He got out, tried to have a shootout with them, and he died in the process. Also in this article, they do kind of go through a little bit more of his history in terms of with the drug cartel and some of his other victims. He kidnapped a man by the name of Lupe Ramirez, a person who owed the cartel $40,000. I believe there's also something where he for the way he got arrested initially. Let's say it says Lopez said he had been on his way to Laredo to kill a restaurant and bar owner for the Molino drug cartel from Nuevo Laredo, Mexico in 2004 when he became embroiled in a shootout with deputies who tried to stop his vehicle. Then it says Lopez escaped with the help of the Mexican mafia. Then there was a situation with Ramirez we just talked about. So, I mean, this was a hardened dude. It's sad that it, got to the, that with his escape that more people died. It's really fucking sad. Definitely, I expected to get an ending where he was apprehended or, shot, killed in the process. I did not expect that it was going to take that kind of turn. So yeah, definitely sad, and especially just all the gun violence and stuff too. I definitely don't want to try to politicize a situation where you say, oh well, hey, I mean, this is a family. There was good guys with guns. Why didn't they stop it? But at the end of the day, that's kind of the concern and the worry, and the thing that always sucks is you can be the good guy and have the gun, but at the end of the day, if some hardened criminal or if someone comes in with true intention, that is always going to catch you off guard. I'm sorry. It's just, this isn't a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. You're just not that guy, pal. I'm sorry. And every time this kind of shit happens. And you see this guy then was armed with deadly weapons now, and he knows how to fucking use them. And, there's even more of a threat to the police. So, I mean, I don't know. Shit fucking sucks. It's a mess. Let's see. Mark Collins, who was 66, Wayne Collins, who was 18, Carson Collins, 16, Hudson Collins, 11, Bryson Collins, who was also 11. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I think one was a cousin. Yeah, Bryson was her cousin. So yeah, I mean, sad shit. I don't know. Can't really sugarcoat it. I don't know what else to really say about it. We can move on to the next thing. Got this from the AP News. McCormick concedes to Oz in Pennsylvania GOP Senate primary. Now, I normally don't cover every one of these. I just kind of cover the ones that are either kind of local, so they kind of matter to me. Also, maybe ones that I just consider were big. This is big because it's Oz, Dr. Oz. I believe the first time I remember hearing about him, he was one of the people who like kind of like Dr. Phil got like an Oprah bump, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Kind of used that clout push and had his own show, Dr. Oz. He pushed a lot of, in my opinion, schlock. Like, I mean, it was like alternative science and like different kind of dieting and stuff like that. I often joke with one of my friends because we both picked up this joke from another podcast where it's like, hey, Dr. Oz says you don't need breakfast. Like, and don't get me wrong, I have a problem not eating breakfast. But that's because I kind of like to starve myself, eat one meal a day, and then like, call it. But I'm a fat piece of shit, so like, don't take hell advice from me. Let's see, Dr. Oz. He is a cardiovascular surgeon, I believe. I'm doing all the research here at Isaiah's Newsstand. But he made a move into politics. And, speaking of a little bit of a clout bump, he got the Trump bump, and that is more or less what propelled him to victory here. I was surprised to hear that he was Republican, but then again, I think that these kind of people just make the kind of moves that they make because it makes sense. Like, Donald Trump could have, I mean, he literally said that in an interview. Like, like, I would run with the Republicans because they're just easy to dupe the people. I think Dr. Oz is on a similar path, and he got the bump he needed. I mean, literally, Trump was like, I think it was on his show at one point, and he says, hey, my wife loves you. She watches your show all the time. And more or less, that's really what led for him picking him in Pennsylvania. Once again, how we've kind of talked about how, like, Trump is really trying to be strategic and flip places where he lost the vote. And that's important for him. Once again, my big speculation, I don't really feel like it's that big. I think he's gonna run again. I don't understand why people are like, nah, no shot, man. No, you crazy, dog. No, why would he do that? Because, like, why not? Like, it's for the glory for him. Plus, it's an easy money move no matter what. It's still a great advertisement when you're the president of the goddamn United States. Like, it's wild to me. It's wild to me that these people still, like, reference him. I don't know. Like, because to me, I liked Obama. It was cool. I don't go my whole life, though, like, trying to rewind time to make that moment happen again. Like, it's weird. It's awkward. But he lost to he won against hedge fund CEO David McCormick. I don't know much about him. I'm not too hip. At the end of the day, though, I mean, these are two Republicans, fighting for their, nomination seat or whatever. But now they're going to go up against now Oz is going up against Fetterman, John Fetterman, I believe. He won, kind of a little bit of touch and go, though, because he had a stroke, like, right before. And, apparently, like, he was not taking medicine and stuff like that. Like, he knew that, he had high risk, but didn't want to take blood thinners. I mean, hey, I get it. But hopefully Fetterman is the one who wins. I would hate to see any kind of Trump fruition come to full bear. But we'll see. I'll keep you posted, I guess. Maybe not. Well, when the primary comes, or when the actual what is it, Senate shit comes, I'll probably talk about it then. How about that? And next, hey, promises made, promises kept. We're gonna finish up this Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial shit right here, right now. So I'm gonna take a little quick break, and we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna give my final closing statement, if you will. Dun dun. Whew. Dung dung, and we're back. Also, not gonna lie to you, I do be drinking some Starbucks coffee. I will say this is an odd little tangent I'm going to go on. Um, I don't like it black, but like I said before, my creamer's kind of bleh, and even the butter thing, like it'll work sometimes. So sometimes I will do the black coffee, but I always feel like I'm being edgy when I do that. Obviously, though, black coffee's fine if you're a black coffee drinker. Hell yeah. But I just remember being as a kid, like, yeah, I drink my coffee black. That I tried that, and I was like, I'm not that guy. I'm not going that deep here. I like creamer. Give me some milk. But yeah, let's see. Um, I got this from. I can't remember. Is it NBC? NBC, the one with the peacock. Johnny Depp wins defamation suit against Amber Heard. So that's the conclusion, folks. Moving on. No. But he won the defamation case. He did not win the $50 million. His grand total for the win was 15 though. So it was let's see. It does have the breakdown here. Yeah. 10 million. It says the jury awarded Depp 10 million in compensatory damages and 5 million in punitive damages in his defamation suit. Now, there is a caveat to that. Fairfax County Circuit Court Judge Penny Azzacarti reduced the punitive damages the jury awarded to Depp to 3,500 or 350,000. Sorry, I can use numbers. $350,000, which is the state's statutory cap or legal limit, making his total damages $10.4 million. So he came in asking for $50 million in defamation and got 10.4 mil. Amber Heard was awarded $2 million, but it was more or less against the lawyer, but Johnny Depp has to pay it. Like, it was Depp's lawyer who, let's see. It was Depp's former attorney, Adam Wallman, who in 2020 to the Daily Mail said he described Amber Heard's allegations of abuse as a hoax. So I'm not exactly sure how that pans out. When I immediately heard that, I was kind of thinking, so like what? Does that just mean then that Amber Heard owes $8.4 million to him? Or does it really mean that like Johnny Depp has to pay up the $2 million and then they actually like have to actually exchange the money? I was kind of curious about that. I didn't figure that out. But yeah, I mean, that is the outcome as opposed to what is the fallout or aftermath to this. That kind of remains to be seen. I know people have been very polarized on the internet. On the day of, I saw a lot of hashtag Megapipe for Johnny. Hashtag Justice for Johnny. That was a prevailing one. I mean, it was moving around. People were stoked. People were happy. It was kind of weird. Like, because I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you pick the side on this, I don't think you came into this situation correctly. It is understandable, though. Like, I get it. Like, I found myself getting pulled one way to another way. I still feel it. I still feel like, hey, Johnny Depp's team did a very great job of showing me Johnny Depp's narrative as opposed to what Amber Heard's legal team did. Also, I think the evidence that was presented doesn't put Amber Heard in a good light. It doesn't make it seem like she is telling the truth. And I think that is how the jury took it. Also, there is a bit of celebrity here, I think, at play. I do think at the same time, it is still wild that Johnny Depp won money, that he won the verdict, because it is hard as hell to prove defamation. It was one of those things where it was like, I like had to go to a lawyer friend that I know. Like, that's crazy, right? Like, this wasn't like a common thing, right? Because it's not, it's even harder to prove it here. And he lost in the UK. So, I mean, it is what it is. I know a lot of people are kind of concerned. Let's see. I mean, there was quotes too, if I can find them in this article. Let's see. One from Depp. And now Depp wasn't at the trial. He was like already like out and about. Like he was already traveling. Amber Heard was there. But let's see. In a statement on Wednesday, speaking the truth was something that I owed to my children and to all those who have remained steadfast in their support of me. I feel at peace knowing I have finally accomplished that. The jury gave me my life back. I'm truly humbled. Let's see. And then I have response from Heard. Statement on Wednesday. The disappointment I feel today is beyond words. I'm heartbroken that the mountain of evidence was still not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband. I'm even more disappointed with what this verdict means for the other women, she said. It is a setback. It setbacks the clock to a time when a woman who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously. I do kind of disagree with Heard on that, but I obviously understand that is a concern for people. I've seen that amongst my friends and people on the internet. You just don't want to see the set of precedent that you shouldn't come out to speak because potentially now your words can be held up against you, and literally money can be used against you as a weapon to just bankrupt your whole life. Thus threatening you out of talking about it, testifying. I do think though that this being not a criminal thing, I do feel like that's less of a sting in the actual legal way. It's just a big wow. Like I said, even the lawyer friend that I know talked about it. They were surprised it happened. But I still think that the Me Too movement is still a very real thing. I know some people on the other side are saying, hey, this is a win for men's rights. I think just in terms of being able to talk about it, I guess for sure it gives you the platform. But let's not forget how much money Johnny Depp had to spend. I think I read in a Newsweek article or something like that. Maintaining his legal team alone, I think was 5.5 mil. That's wild. So yeah, he made a little bit of money, quote unquote, on this, but it's probably all getting ate up, I'm sure. And that I didn't even count and look up for how much he had spent on the legal shit for the UK. So I mean, he's been fighting this shit for a lot and had a lot of money to do it. Once again, I'm not saying this though to discourage any man who's going through that kind of situation to not speak. I'm just saying that you are not him, and to the people out there who relate to Amber Heard's story, you are not her. It's something that you always have to remember. And I understand that this is something that affects you. It touches chords in you. But these are two celebrities having their spat live on YouTube. The only difference is it's coming off of what Law and Crime Entertainment or whatever that's called, whatever the YouTube site was. And other streamers were talking about it, and my dumbass is talking about it. I think it is going to move on with time. Also, I also get too that this was kind of a weird kind of candy treat. You didn't have to talk about Ukraine. You didn't have to talk about soaring gas prices, which gosh, almost $4.99 at some places around here. I'm dying. But it does the escapism thing. You get to look at these celebrities' lives. And yeah, that's an alluring thing. But by all means, if it bugs you, you gotta just get away from it. Just click it off, close the tab, get out of there. Sometimes it's not worth engaging in the ick. But we're gonna wrap up here. We're gonna get to our final things. Got this from NPR. It's an update on the baby formula. Abbott's baby formula plant is reopening in a step that could soon ease the shortage. So that's good news. This is the plant in Sturgis, Michigan. They had a, bacterial contamination in February that, leveled the plant. They had to just shut it down, really get things in order. But it looks like they are, and they are on track. Now, the specialty formula that is initially going to get to people, I think around, it says about June 20th. It's called Elicare. But essentially, this is like, once again, kind of like what I was talking about with the first shipment that came from Germany. It is a hypoallergenic thing. So it's for infants with allergies to cow milk, which is still great. I mean, obviously they need it. And I imagine, too, that there's still more formula coming and hopefully, shelves are being stocked. But yeah, I mean, it is crazy that this happened. I mean, with as big and regulated as this is, you would think this wouldn't. But, getting into the crevices and the stuff, I can't explain it because I'm just not smart enough to. But it definitely is one of those things where it's like, you can see where capitalism really got in the way here. It shouldn't be that there's two big, manufacturer retailers of this stuff. And, then two, you're not even doing like thorough actual inspections, checks on a virus like this when it's an issue. It's been documented as such. And then this happens, and then, you can blame the supply chain for sure. But once again, this is all set up by you guys. And it's all set up with like, nothing should happen. But what if it does? We'll cross that bridge when we come to it? ? Like, well, here we are. And now we gotta, put in emergency bill laws or whatever and get this shit shipped over from Germany, and we look ridiculous. This shouldn't happen. But I did just want to talk about this and update, like I said, but also there's some silver lining here. I do try to tell you guys I bring some good news. And this is a local thing. It is something I found via my friend who was the person doing this. So this is like a shout out. But also it did make the news, so it was really fucking cool. And it's my friend Samantha Smith, but she made the news in the Kentucky Daily for, I'll just read the title. Corbin Mom starts a Facebook group to help parents find baby formula. So she's a mom with twin boys. She's, raising another girl as well. So, I mean, it's one of those things where, she's a busy mom. She's at it, but she made it happen. So she was already driving around just like every mom in this kind of situation, looking for formula, freaking out. But she used that energy, focused, and pushed to get it to not just, for her babies, but for other moms who needed it and their babies. Let's see. Got a quote here from the article. I was going everywhere for 2 months, every day checking shelves and checking multiple stores, and it got really depressing. I started seeing other people posting formula pictures on Facebook, so I thought it would be a good idea to share that information in one group, in one place. And so she came up with a solution, and she made the Facebook group called Tri-County Formula Findings. Originally for her friends to help them find in-stock formulas. Still almost overnight. It reached members as far as Leslie County, Clay County, Johnson County, and even a mom from Louisiana who received the formula her baby needed. Here's another quote. Today I helped my 75th parent who needed formula. I never intended to be a one-woman delivery service. It's hard work. But outside of my kids, this is one of the top-tier accomplishments of my life. Now, I remember just reading that, and that's the article piece, like, link that I saw, and I was so touched. I knew that she had been going through it and making this happen. It was really cool to see. She's working harder than the government. I'm sorry, she's working harder than Joe Byron. I'm gonna fucking say it. So I wanted to give flowers to her, give a shout out to her. Thank you guys for listening. Let's see. I got a Patreon. It's time for me to shill. It's time for me to be a filthy motherfucker. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. Any dollar helps. You're helping me out. Either putting food in my mouth, making this feel like, I'm actually getting somewhere. Upgrading my technology. I got a crashy little computer. I'm trying to be a one-take Drake out here. No, I'm a one-take Tony. But sometimes I got to be a 3-take Tony because my computer crashes. But donations would help fix that. Also, little skin in the game for you. $5 gets you a Discord access. Also gets you a shout out on the podcast every month. We'll talk about whatever you want. I'll say your name like the best, the beautiful Stephanie Renee. Her donations have helped me out a ton. And I'm glad that she enjoys the content that really does like bring a tear to my heart and soul and eyeballs. So yeah, I mean, you could have that emotional effect on me if you wanted. Just think about it, you know? But either way, thank you for listening. I really can't stress that enough. To hear people tell me that they listen to this, to know when I see my little analytics that there are people all around the world listening somehow, some way, it trips me out. It freaks me out, but I love it. And you guys are great. You guys have an amazing week. I will hopefully see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Goodbye. Mwah.